Good evening, everyone. Good evening, the panelists. Thank you so much for taking out time and accepting our request to share your insights with respect to what you do in the educational institution, as well as what's happening in the higher ed and the study abroad, largely sector within Kerala per se, if I have to focus on that. Uh, I have a very distinguished panel, comes from various institutions across the board here, based here, as well as we have uh, Anthony as well, who can, sorry, Naveen as well, who can actually throw a lot of light with respect to study abroad and what's happening in that area with respect to Kerala as a market. But before we get into the discussion, I would like to just understand more about, and we can start with you, Shashi sir, in terms of what do you feel? Because Kerala has got highest number of higher ed institutions in India. And in terms of talent, a lot of talent is here, which is going to the local institutions as well as they are going outside India. So, what has been your experience with respect to number of institutions and the competition among the institutions in terms of attracting the right talent, keeping them within Kerala or within this part of the world, or putting them outside? What has been your experience, sir, in so many years? It's on, sir.
No, as far as my experience is concerned, for the past 10 years, what I've been witnessing is that there is fierce competition among the various colleges in Kerala, especially the higher education. The colleges are trying to fill their seats somehow so that there is 100%. 100% seats are being filled, and there is a rat race for admissions. But then, of late, what I have seen is that students, after completing their graduation, no, they don't want to study in Kerala. Either they want to go to Bangalore or they want to go outside India. Uh, if you look on a daily basis, I think I sign about 3 or 4 letters of recommendation. But the problem is the student is clueless. So when I ask them which university, of course, outside India means they can name some universities or name some colleges. But when I ask them, you name some universities where you're going abroad, so the student says that the agent will decide. So you give me 3 or 4 copies of letter of recommendation. My agent is going to decide my future. So that is very pathetic. So then I explained to them. I explained to him. I got a few. The so-called catalogs of foreign universities with me, which I would put it in inverted commas as fake. And then I tell them, why do you want to go abroad? Well, there are so many universities in Kerala. There are so many universities in India where you can pursue your higher education. Why do you want to go abroad? So the immediate answer which he gives me is that the agent will decide and then we'll go. But when I go out, I will have good quality of life. Then I can see the whole world. I can travel to places in an aircraft. Then I can have good food. But that doesn't. That type of facility is not available here, and moreover. There are no new generation courses that has been offered by the Kerala universities or by the universities in Kerala or maybe but in other some other universities are offering a new generation courses, but in Kerala it is absolutely not there. So the student is clueless. That is what I must say. See, day before yesterday, I was addressing a group of about 100 students. So they were all sitting in the seminar hall, and then I asked a student, "What is your goal in life, or what do you want to do after your graduation?" and there was absolutely no answer from anybody. All 100 students were looking at me, simply blinking, don't know what answer they should give. Then one smart girl stood up and said, "My immediate goal is to clear all my backlogs." I don't know. I know, but at least she was smart enough to give me that answer. But then, what are her long-term goals? Even the goal which she has to come finish in the 3 to 4 months, that is also she is not sure. Then why ask about her future goals? But then there are, the students are absolutely clueless. So what I feel is that the decision of higher education, decision to go for higher studies, it is mainly taken by either by the, I'm sorry, by the agents or by others. Those are the people who are taking decisions. The student is because he is clueless. He just jumps into such type of hasty decisions, and they run into trouble. But see, we boast of 100%. I'm talking of the Kerala situation. We boast of 100% literacy. All that is true. But why are the students going out? And that is a big question. Why are they going out of Kerala, or why are they going out of India? Certainly, those things are not good in our state, and that is the reason why they are going outside.
So it makes sense in terms of what you said with respect to students and how their mind is in terms of selecting a institution. Uh, Anthony, sir, what's been your experience with respect to this in your institution at St. Gids?
Good evening, all. First of all, thanks for giving me this opportunity to be here. Very interesting topic. Uh, is there any specific question you asked, or you want me to comment on the topic?
You can comment about the topic, and if you feel that what's happening with respect to competition in higher ed and how institutions are attracting and retaining talent.
Okay. Um, Competition, it's something like it's the order of the day. Anywhere you go, whether education or any industry you are in, it's the order of the day. We have to live with it. We have to compete, and that also helps us to improve our quality also in a big way. Um, my take on this is that quality attracts quality. If you're ready to put money on the table, invest in quality, you can survive on a long term. Education also, I like to say it's a business, it's an industry. The moment we say this word business and industry, basically I'm from a industry background. I was an investment banker for 20 years. So what happens is that the moment I use these words business, especially in Kerala, people look at me like all the eyebrows will get raised. They'll be like, how can you call education a business? I think that we Keralites need to know what business actually means. It's something where everyone involved gets benefited out of it. It's not like someone is losing out. No, in business everyone should benefit. Then only it will survive. And to have a long-term business, the focus should be on the end user. Maybe my fellow panelists will be able to add more to it from the business schools. The end user in education is the students. A student-centric, student-focused approach is the only way an education institution can survive. That's my take on the whole scene. Uh, our institution started in the year 2002 over a period of 20 years, 22 years. Started first batch with around 180 students. Now we are at around 4,500 students. So it's a slow, steady growth. I won't say that it's like when compared to many colleges or universities in Tamil Nadu or nearby states, it is not a big leap. It's a slow and steady growth. But looking at Kerala's way of handling education, we think ours is a steady growth, and we are happy about it. Like I said, the only way we are surviving is focusing on quality and not compromising on the students' expectations. How to manage the students' expectations and deliver to it, that is a challenge. Like Sir rightly said, there are so many problems which you are facing in Kerala. One is like you mentioned, a clear orientation on where they are heading. That is a challenge. Most of the students, most of the, I won't limit it to students, most of the people out here are not having that kind of career orientation where they are heading, no clear goals or objectives, and thereby they like to take things as it comes. And few who are really focused on where they're heading, they know how to pick the institutions and how to look for quality. Others will look around, they may go abroad, they may end up in some universities, they may look at only the staybacks available abroad. Like that, they may decide the universities. That's also part of the situation. We have to live with it. But looking at the title, I feel this global standards and local needs. There's nothing called a local need, I feel now. These are all global needs. We are living, Kerala is also part of this globe now. So I feel that global standards are required for global needs. And the standards that Kerala is also looking for is the same global standards going forward. And thanks to COVID, the borders have gone, people are thinking seamlessly, and because of that, everyone is looking for quality in all the aspects. So I feel if we are ready to put effort to build quality, that's the only way we can survive in this state. That's my take.
I think completely makes sense, more from a point of view that you are a young institution, just 20 years old, 22 years old, and from 180 to 4,500 students. It's quite commendable from that perspective. Ma'am, I'll come to you and I'll ask you a question with respect to continue on what we discussed about student brain drain, as well as what's happening within the country, especially in Kerala. A lot of collaborations as well as exchange programs are offered by higher ed institutions in not only in Kerala but in India, and I think there is clearly a need, like what Sashi sir also mentioned, that student broadly doesn't have much idea, but they want to just ensure that they go out and they have their freedom and do stuff. What has been your experience in terms of these programs, the exchange programs, as well as collaborations within Kerala as a state?
Okay. First of all, thank you for giving me this opportunity. First and the foremost thing that we all want to understand that first we need to understand what exactly the student requirement. Point number one. Since I'm coming from an MBA college, a management institute, a simple questions to the audience, if anybody can answer, that will be beautiful. So let me make it so interactive. Who is the customer for a MBA college? It's a very simple question. Can someone answer this? If someone is able. The customer for an MBA college. Any idea?
Corporates.
Exactly, that's a corporates. Many of the times we have a thought that it's a students, okay, or it's a college. No, it's actually the corporates. So I'll start from there. Okay, so the education system need to cater in such a way that we will be able to give we will be able to cater the students in such a way that they are employable for the industry. Once that two things are matching only, the education, the quality all speaks. Point number one. Point number two is, of course, as you rightly said, the collaboration and the merging or the foreign university coming here. Of course, I find it as a very good and I find it that it's very global opportunity in terms of couple of things. One thing is you can take the Kerala, if I'm talking from the Kerala perspective, you can take the Kerala as an educational hub, because right now there are so many twinning programs which is happening. But many of the times, and I don't know how many institutes are bringing the foreigner students to here. Again, we have certain limitations with respect to the university, even though my parent organization becomes an autonomous, but still we have limited power. So there are certain constraints with it. Once the collaboration happens, we will have good facility. And the second important thing is right now we speak about the quality. In quality in what? That's a bigger question. We have speak a lot about the quality in what? Quality in education means what? That rightly said, if once an institution or the quality goes up means you have a proper research or funding for to happen with the research. So I don't know how many higher educations are promoting for the research or for the consultancy or the collaborations. Once the foreign university or the collaboration happens, we'll have more research and development which has happened, and the teaching methodology. A very classical example, one of our senior professor used to, he have attended an FDP program in IMT Switzerland, and he said that the way the program caters, that the faculty comes here and they do theater practice. Here, can you imagine a faculty coming and doing a kind of a theater? We'll say that he's a clown, right? So there they teach us in a different methodology and pedagogy, and the students actually really get engaged into it. So once those kinds of methodology and pedagogy comes here, the student gets more engaged, and this kind of a brain drain, you can stop it. Until and unless the quality goes up and the students needs to feel that they are upgrading. Why the students are leaving outside? You cannot stop them until and unless we become equipped enough. You cannot blame that the students are leaving. We have to equip ourselves that we should be able to retain our brain here. So in the way that all the educational institution has to upgrade. And as sir said, the competition is the order of the day. I'll just slightly put a little more another terminology called collaboration. Right now, if you look at all the corporates or the companies, they are trying to collaborate with each other. So competition to a particular level, it is good, yes, for you keep on, you're sharpening your edges, but collaboration is more important. So once all the educational institutions are trying to collaborate in a one way, the quality and the quantity, everything can be improved. So that is one idea or my point on this.
Sure, I think make complete sense. Before I go to Ramya ma'am, let me go to Naveen. Naveen, I know you are the odd one out in the panel, but there is a market for all products, and clearly India is a rising star in terms of sending students outside India. You can call it a brain drain, or you can call it an opportunity, or you can call it a better standard of living, or you can put it in other terminology like I want to change my nationality, because eventually if I go out and study, I'll work there, and accordingly I'll change my nationality eventually. So there are various reasons for people to actually go and study abroad. Now, what has been your experience that the students who come to you, clearly they come with a clear mindset, or you will have to do a lot of work in terms of guiding them with respect to where to go, how to go about applying, how to go about actually getting selected in various institutions across the board?
Knowledge of me. Yeah, thanks for the mic. I think the pressing issue, which has been addressed a lot of you guys, are brain drain and people going abroad. When I see the earlier days, the brain drain was a part of economic migration. So people actually wanted to get a better life in terms of economic. But at the moment, when I see it's a lot of things which they lack in this country or in this particular space, I'll just speak with a bit of numbers. When you see the first thing, any students who's genuinely interested in studying in a particular university or particular institution, that's about quality. And how do we measure quality in terms of ranking and the credibility and accreditations? So if you say we've got a ranking body, QS World Education, QS ranking system. So out of the 1,200 universities, only somewhere around 38 belongs to India, all across. And none of them are in Kerala. I think Amrita Vishwavidyapith is there. That's 650 or around in Times Higher Education. But when you see Kerala as a space, it's not there. And I think somebody has mentioned quality attracts quality. So if I'm a brilliant student, if I want to get into admission in the top class universities in India or anywhere abroad, I'll either go for an IIMs, ISBs, or IITs, so any top class institutions. So Kerala doesn't have that. What we have at the moment is a maybe tier 2 or tier 3 college affiliated to a tier 2 university. That's what we've got. So if any good student, if I'm a brilliant student, if I want to get in the best university, I probably not opt to study in Kerala. And this is what happening all over the place. So students need better opportunity to, improvise their skills. And some of the point sir said, the students are clueless. Again, I would categorize the students from different part of the city or different category. So if somebody is coming, so we deal with the application from metro cities, the tier 1 city, tier 2 city, tier 3 cities. So most of the people, if I look into the Bangalore, Mumbai, these big metro cities, the students are pretty clear what they want to do in their career in terms of what they want to achieve in the next 10 years. But when I come down to Kerala, two things. One, if you have studied in the best class institution in Kerala or in across, they have a fairly good idea. And again, I wouldn't say Kerala has a bad education system comparatively. We're doing pretty well because according to the UGC, we've got top 100 university, 13 of them belongs to Kerala. That's one of the highest all across the country. But in terms of what a student gets, what an industry gets, we are not doing justice to that. So that's what I would say. Right, and yeah, and when I receive application from the tier 3, tier 2 cities in Kerala, clearly the student do not have any clue what they want to do. One reason, it starts from the beginning, like they complete their 10th, they complete their 12th, they go to degree without knowing what exactly they want to do. Somebody is doing BCom, largely saleable. Somebody is not so good or like average student, they sell BCom. So again, engineering, maybe the parent pressure or a lot of things are there. We haven't given them an opportunity to explore them, or we haven't given them the right education to choose their own good. So that's one point I would like to emphasize. Right, and as I said, like agencies, like if a lot of people, if you ask, like my agent will select my course, I would say a lot of study abroad in this space, a lot of market leaders or a lot of competitors have sold the product as an immigration. They did not sold education. If I have a child, if you have a child, somebody who completed 10th and 12th, nobody will suggest them you do a 2 year or 1 year diploma and your career will be set. And same wise, if somebody has done their bachelor's, we wouldn't again ask them, go to a tier 3 college and do your diploma. That will cost you 15, 16 lakhs. Right. And again, if somebody has done their master's degree, nobody will tell them go and again do a diploma. I mean, people do diplomas over here, but that's for the job. Like I know logistics sale diploma, 6 months, but that's for the study. Like if somebody has done MBA, they want to get into that, we can totally understand. But again, if somebody is going down and doing their diplomas in spending 20, 25 lakhs, that's so again, the pressing concern is people around 35,000 students are traveling abroad in terms of annually. And a lot of maybe 50 or more than 50 percentage of the people are not going for studies. It's purely for the migration. So that is the real issue. We are not addressing the issue rightly. And earlier days, it was economic migration. And these days, it is actually for the quality of living, quality of, the studies, or academics, what they get. And if you see the last 5 or 6 years, a lot of students or somebody who's gone to this, you see, UK, US, these are premium countries. These guys are came back and able to start their own companies. You see, Flipkart is there. All these people like Mintra, these are the alumni who somehow studied in a tier 1 or tier 2 college and they've traveled to another institution in abroad and they came back and they've done massive things. In terms of investment banking, you might know a lot of funding has been come. So VC funding has been largely popularized, but students who study in a normal college, they do not have an access. When I say the funding is there, seed is there, angel investors are there, so they just need an idea and have a knowledge to empower that. But a lot of them do not have that knowledge. We're not passing down the knowledge. That's largely, I would say, these are the pressing issues.
Naveen, a lot of points you actually touch based in your answer with respect to why people prefer to study abroad clearly. But if I have to change gear and come to you, Ramya ma'am, what has been your experience in your institution with respect to what are the key things you keep in mind or your team or institution keeps in mind with respect to attracting students in your institution? Because it is very, very important. You have a lot of offering which is there within Kerala, within India, and outside India as well. But how are you attracting? What is your pitch?
Thank you so much for including me in this panel and giving this opportunity. According to me, uh, India by 2030 envisions to have the highest working population. So I consider it as our responsibility, Kerala being the highest literate state, I consider it as our responsibility to unleash the true potentials of millions so as to bridge the employability gap in the universities. Actually, there was a time when ESLC was the minimum requirement for getting a job. Elementary school leaving certificate obtained after 8th standard education. Later on, SSLC became a basic requirement to get a job or go up. Then it became +2, and as the years pass by, we know it became graduation, and the current competition demands anyone to have basically post graduation as the minimum requirement to go up the ladder. That too, it is not sufficient with just a degree without a professional backup. The national education policy aims to increase the gross enrollment ratio to 50% by 2035 and to have maximum number of citizens enrolled to higher education by that time. So, what is higher education and how to elevate a student to a candidate? That is the point where we focus basically. So when a student after graduation, he gets an opportunity to choose whether to go for an non-professional course or a professional course. So non-professional course should be theoretical oriented and knowledge-centered approach should be given. While the latter, the professional course, should be job-oriented and should have a practical-oriented approach. For instance, MBA, we give MBA in Lead College of Management, and we try to answer whether a student after MBA is a good manager by default. Without any further need of training, he can get into the work from day one itself. So that is the need of the industry right now. That is the real-time need for any student or candidate to go up. The world's most popular university, Harvard University, in fact, goes by the teaching methodology of self-learning or self-case study approach. It is not a lecture method. So I feel basically with effective student or faculty exchange programs or good foreign collaborations for research, we should analyze the global standards and then implement and design and implement an effective andragogy in such a way as to meet the local needs. Our students or our candidates should be given the chance to explore the global opportunities or the global standards. Then we can surely serve the society better and lead to the national goal. So that is the point where we try to implement or focus the students to go up the ladder. Thank you.
Makes complete sense to me. In fact, let me change gear more from a point of view of students, curriculum, study abroad, or study in India, or what you are doing in your respective institutions, to how do you attract the right kind of student? What are the marketing strategies you are adopting? And we can start with you and go to Ramya ma'am and Anthony sir and come to Sashi sir.
Yes.
So what are the marketing strategies you are employing to ensure that you get the right kind of students mind share,
Yes.
as well as eventually those kind of students can get enrolled to your institution as well?
Sure. Actually, the students are more focused, in fact, I would say, because they are choosy right now. Earlier it was like parents choose and students obey or follow. But right now it is just vice versa. Students take a choice. So we have to reach the students and know what they want and when we implement, it should reach the students as well. That is the point where we also focus, like we implement or we design so many activities which are the right time needs of the students apart from the university syllabus. Curricular and extracurricular activities which can make them industry ready and give them global career opportunities as well, so that they understand that yes, we can go to this institution rather than going to some other part of India or even global. While we get the same here, just next to us, we can go for that. Reaching the students with what they want is the basic strategy we follow.
Remember, what has been your experience with respect to your marketing activities? How do you reach students? Online, offline, mix of everything, communication. There are a lot of elements there.
Good question. The marketing strategy which I follow, or in fact, you will need to know how I attract admissions or how I attract the students to my institution is, first of all, I used to actively involve in the admission process, as Ramya says, and I don't look on the marks. Sorry. Because mark is just a number. You cannot quantify a student based on the marks. When I interview, I make sure that this boy or this girl is a trainable candidate. Whether if I give a training, whether I can mold the student to a candidate, whether I can fill the employability skill gap. So once I feel that this candidate is moldable, I pick it up. Whether his or her marks is less, I am confident. And third thing is, definitely once student joins in our institution, the basic thing is, of course, as we all know that our curriculum are all outdated. Okay, so we don't have any power or autonomy to change the curriculum. So we add a lot of value addition programs. Okay, we include all the new courses here, and of course all the elementary basic courses we give it. And if you, for example, if I want to take a data analytics, all the students may not be in a better position to grab everything in the data analytics. So we give the basic stuff, and the students who are competent enough raise the bar, we give the advanced. In the case of Power BI, or you take any courses, we give all the elementary, and if we find that the students are good enough to move up the ladder with that particular, we spend from our own pocket and we make sure that the students are moving. And the third thing is, of course, we have a panel of people who can upgrade ourselves to that particular level. And fourth thing is, naturally, it is our training. Okay, once the student joins our institute, we are very particular sure that he meets the ROA within a less than a year. Okay, if you spend 4 lakh, he will get that 4 lakh within a less than a year. So how do we do it? Very simple. Basically, myself is a trainer, and I did my thesis or my PhD on this topic, and I am just trying with all my recommendations, suggestions on my students. And it is not just merely delivering the concept. For example, if a student wants to learn the digital marketing right now, recently, next few days, our colleges, my senior graduates are going to undergo the digital marketing. It is not just merely a classroom learning. After that, they need to go to the different companies. They need to canvas the company. They need to get the money from the company, and they need to market it. And they need to show that, okay, these many, or this is the growth that we have made after studying this. So this is a practical application rather than simply listening to the class and just delivering. No, actually, for that is one basic. So we do a lot of activities. And we will never allow our students to sit in the AC, centralized AC cabin. So sorry, they have to move. They have to, always have to associate with corporate, for the consultancy, for the hospitality partner, for the volunteering partner. So many activities we have collaborated with the corporate. So what happens is they get a greater exposure. And for example, recently, 3 days back, actually, GTech, the group of technology that is in the Info Park, around 300 companies association, they conducted a marathon, and our students were the volunteers. So what happens is they are getting a connection with the corporates, and that helps them to get in this easily into the internship. So internship is not a big deal for us. And for the placement, of course, these companies itself pitches our students and say that, oh, these guys are good enough. So they'll come to us and they say that we would like to have a, placement drive. So in that way, we are making our students more employable, and my major focus is on skill set training and making my students employable. And that is one of the key area that the students are attracted to our both of our institute. In fact, I think that's my
I
say.
think, ma'am, you shared largely from a point of view when student decides to join your institution, and
Yes.
post that what you guys do.
It
with
is
respect
very
to,
clear when I interview the students. I ask them a couple of questions. The first question: are you interested to go abroad? Second thing is, many of the students have a one thing is what I try to give my students is the communication. And communication, we all have a notion that it is not the language barrier. It is not the language barrier. We all know. I'm sure that the people who are sitting over here, we all know is, was, where, at least a 3,000 vocabulary. I'm pretty sure it is our it is not, it is the confidence factor that is making us not to speak in English. So what I makes is I give them the confidence. It is not sitting inside the classroom and giving the lecturing. If I want to make a leader, I cannot sit inside the classroom and give a lot of leadership theories. No one will become a leader. You need to really, really go on the ground and really. And the one important aspect what I trying to, this is, I'm not saying I'm full-fledged succeeded, but I'm trying to inculcate is the order of the day of the skill set is the problem solving skill set. Whether it is a numerical, whether it is a situational based, this is what I'm trying to instill in my students, the problem solving skill. That is the most sought out quality that all the companies, I think that sir will be able to comment more on that because he's in the corporate relationship. So this is my clear, simple, transparent strategy which I use for my admissions. Very simple.
it's clearly helpful. If I divide the educational institution, and any institution, be it a higher ed or a K-12 or study abroad or a consultant, there are three layers to it largely. There is an input layer where you are recruiting students. There is a middle layer where you are polishing students. And there is an output layer which comprises of largely the placements, alum and all that. And it's a circle that
Correct.
what you do in the input layer and what you do in the middle layer becomes your output layer, and output layer again fuels back stuff with respect to your input layer. I'm specifically focusing now on the input layer with respect to how you do stuff with respect to reaching out to students, what kind of marketing you do, how it has benefited you, sir. Those are the areas I'm kind of more interested, because you have got a lot of institutions which are near you. Your students have a lot of choice applying within Kerala, within India, outside India as well. So, what are those 2, 3 strategies which you employ with respect to marketing in a right way, communicating in a better way?
I think you have come to the right person because I'm not an academician by profession.
Yeah.
So I won't be talking too much about like what we do in our college, how we polish the students and all. I'll stick on to the point that you said, the input, how we manage the input, how you generate leads,
Yes.
pure marketing
Exactly.
language.
Exactly.
Yeah, how we generate leads, how we convert them into admissions. See, if you look at my institution, though I represent St. Gates, my institution, I'll say around 80% of our admissions happen through referral route. That is why right from the beginning, I've been talking about quality attracts quality. Our alumni or our students usually talk good about us. So that is where what all things she said works. Like, we have we have around 4,000 people in our campus who talks good about us, and we have 20 years of alumni force out there. They also talk good about us. Their parents, relatives. There's a big word of mouth is the right way for canvassing in Kerala, I feel. Like people give a lot of respect for in-person comments on an institution. What actually they value experiences rather than colorful ads or digital marketing campaigns or anything. People give a lot of importance. The thing, if you look at admissions, A student who is trying to get admission to a college will try to find a student who is already studying there or an alumni of that or alumnus of that college, try to get some references. So we feel that taking care of our students is the best way of attracting more students. That is one thing. Then comes the technical part that you said, how we contact the new set of candidates. We use digital in a big way. We use digital, and we use print in a very limited way, because it's we find that it's almost highly uh, it's a very costly affair nowadays to go to print media. So we focus on digital, and digital also helps us in managing the leads properly. Tracking as the system is there, and our campaigns are mostly done to reiterate or sort of reinforce the brand that we have built over a period of years. It is not, we are not trying to create a new brand out there. The brand is already created by our students, our teachers, our faculty. That human element is what's actually made our brand till now. So we are using our media mainly to get that recall for us, the name recall for us. That's how we usually go about it.
I think completely makes sense in terms of you said that majority of the spend is digital. Print is something which you are probably doing, but not that much because of cost.
Print is basically still, a lot of people feel there is a lot of authenticity to print. People feel like, when they see something in print, they think that is something really authentic. So for that, we need to go for the print. So it's not that we can stay away from the print. We have to be there in the print also, but it's very limited.
So when you actually do a lot of digital campaigns and attract a lot of interest, and as you said that your output layer is actually fueling your input layer because of word of mouth and all that.
That's right.
And you also touched a bit on you have system in place, and we know all the 5 panelists here using Meritto as the operating system to manage the entire funnel end to end. How it has benefited you, if you have to kind of share in a couple of lines, or what are the things it has helped you with respect to your
See,
campaigns, communication?
Ours is an institution where we don't have a hardcore marketing team or a telecalling team sitting there and making 10 telecallers attending calls. We don't have that kind of a setup out there. Ours is a very small team. I'll say that we don't have a pure marketing person out there. I'm the only person. Even I have other responsibilities out there. So what we do is lead tracking mechanism, lead management system, which you have now. Currently, we are using Meritto. This helps us to ensure that we are responding to each lead that come up to us. No lead is getting wasted. Earlier, a lot of leads used to get wasted. That's something which we are really focusing on, because there are so many people who likes to connect to us, but we were not responding properly to them because it gets misplaced or not assigned to anyone, or sometimes someone picked the call, okay, I'll call you back, and forgot to note down the number or something like that. Those kind of issues can be avoided. And like I said, to improve the admission quantity and admission quality, the first thing that you need is a bigger pool. So this kind of lead management systems help us to increase the pool size. Actually, the pool was already there, but we were not utilizing it properly.
Yeah, it was not actually, all the leads were not centralized at one place. So you don't know what's happening with your actually lead funnel on the top.
Yeah.
But with Meritto, I think you are able to do. Do you, I'm sorry, but I'll just take one more question here. Do you also use our marketing automation to nurture the leads? Because you said you have a very small team. So marketing automation can actually do all the
Yes,
conversations
to some
with the
extent,
student.
to some extent, we use that.
Yeah.
We are on the social media platforms as well as on Google, and we also use some popular platforms also. So there also, this Meritto helps us to track which channel is giving us
Which kind of
which
conversions?
kind of conversions.
Yeah. Sashi sir, what has been your experience, sir, in terms of marketing and lead generation and managing it on platform like us?
See, we don't do any aggressive marketing because we get students. We started our MBA program. I'm talking of MBA program during the year 2003. And this institution was there as early as 1976. So we are already in this field for the past so many years. So as far as the admissions are concerned, our institute is NAC accredited with A plus with 3.44 score. Then our MBA department is NBA accredited. Then we have got the international accreditation ACBSP. And of course, we are also ISO certified. So as far as the quality aspect is concerned, we are certified by all these agencies. Now we are very strong in the social media. Instagram, Facebook. Then yes, all those things, all those those channels we are very strong. Now what I could say is that, as pointed out by my fellow panelist, whenever a student comes for an interview, when I ask him how did you come to know of SEMS, what he or she says is that as it is I have come to know about SEMS from my friend, my relative who studied here and who is well placed. And we have got a very strong alumni network. They refer students to us. So for that matter, and our website speaks for all. You know, you go to our website, everything is available in the website. So as far as we are concerned, admissions, it's not a big problem. We can, of course, we can attract more number of students once we have once our college has been given the freedom of modifying the syllabus. Now syllabus is all been controlled by the regulator, that is the MG University. We can't go in for any revision of syllabus, because students come and ask, you know, for different types of specialization. Do you have artificial intelligence? You have machine learning, or do you have liberal arts? No, these type of questions they ask us, but then we are unable to offer. But then nevertheless, I must say that we get students in all streams, and but I think. Coming to the education policy, some of the students, you know, they come and ask me personally. When they ask me, sir, can I do a course in liberal arts, like, you know, after my 2 semesters of MBA, or after my first year of my degree, can I do a course on or some other course like animation or something? No, then I have to say, because we come under the university, we cannot move into such type of courses. So these are the issues which we face. Like the student gets no choice after a particular. I mean, he joins a particular course. There are so many. I mean, to repeat once more, there are so many students who have come to me, sir, I finished my 2 semesters of BCom. I want to discontinue. I would like to do some other course. Had he been abroad, probably he would have got a chance to continue the course. So that limitation is here. Uh, so more students can be attracted towards our institutes are not bad. You know, our teachers are not bad. The environment is not bad. No, as I said earlier, the literacy is also very good. But then there is something wrong with the whole system. The regulator is creating a lot of problem. The government is also creating a lot of problem. So we are unable to have freedom to give more, or to give some extra mile to the students. That is a problem which I face.
No, I sir clearly understand that point, and I know that every institution in India is facing that. And in fact, I think NEP is going to talk about this in detail, and NEP states this. I don't know when it will be implemented, because it's there on the paper that you can choose to do 1 year here, and you can go and take the credit and go and do second year somewhere else in India. I'm not sure about when it will get implemented.
We have we have a collaboration with the North Kentucky University. It is actually a state university. So what a student can join for this MBA program, 1 year he can do his course at SEMS. The second year he can do at North Kentucky. So that I mean, to a certain extent, I think we'll be in a position to fulfill the needs of the student who wants to go, I mean, abroad. So such types of collaborations, I think will help. But by and large, I must say that we have got a good brand name. We don't have to go for any aggressive marketing. I mean, our placements are very good. The website clearly says the companies which visited our campus, the salaries which the companies have offered. Now, all that is more than enough for attracting our students to our campus.
No, completely makes sense. Naveen, I think you are in a state which sends second largest number of students outside India. And we have got at least thousands of study abroad consultants based here. How do you attract students to ensure that what are the marketing strategies you adopt to bring in that kind of students who will actually come, understand what kind of offers your university partners have, and you actually make them go outside India?
Yeah. So what we try to do is like whatever things students are lacking. So we identify the gap. So what is their gap in the market? So we spread awareness to the students. So if like as we see, we have a lot of limitations over here in terms of courses, in terms of study outcome, or in terms of economic outcome. So we identify the gap exact, like where exactly the gap is. So at the moment we've got like at the age between 20 and 30, we've got around 50 lakhs people in Kerala. And when you consider again the age gap between 20 to 25, we again getting into a pool of 28 lakhs people. So it's qualified who can go abroad. So we see what's the gap over here in Kerala, or whatever they don't get. We identify and we find out a solution. So what can be better? On a simple example, so we've got a lot of polytechnic colleges over here in Kerala. So after completing the polytechnical college or diploma, either they can go to the industry or otherwise they can join a lateral entry, which is actually a 3 year. So in UK, there is a course called Top Up, so which transfer the polytechnic credit to a bachelor's degree, and they go to study 1 year. So what happens if somebody studies over here? So they have to study 3 year, then they have to go for a practicum. So that's industry. So what happens if somebody studies in the UK? They complete their degree in 1 year. There is a PSW, post-study work permit. They can work for 2 years. So in 3 years, somebody is completing the degree in Kerala. So they'll be just completing the degree. If somebody is going out, they'll be completing their degree 2 years. So industry experience for 2 years, no debt, have some savings, and a British degree, which is a proper accreditation. I'm not saying in Kerala the system is bad, but we have limitations. So we identify certain gaps and we spread awareness, into the market, and people who needs it, uh, who reach out to us or we reach out to them. So that's what we basically do. Like every other panelist say, they get automatically student because of the reputation now, everything. But for me, I have to go aggressively to the market. It's like more outbound, and spread what we do, how we can help them. So that's what we do. We do outreach activities. We do digital marketing, online and offline, different kind of activities. And because you guys are conducting, so and we guys are connected. So how Meritto came into the picture? Earlier it was everything offline, scrambled up, and so when Meritto comes down, so what we are able to do is we were able to identify the data. So geographic wise and what actually trending, where exactly the need comes in. So that pitch in terms of a marketing terms. When in terms of the quality measures comes down, so we were able to know, like because we also hire people from colleges and hire employees from the other industries. So we were able to identify who's doing well and who's doing not so well, and on which part, because it touch bases in each and every aspect of the counseling, from the admission till the post departure. So we were able to identify who's doing better, and we were able to identify them, award them, like whatever in terms of monetary and non-monetary, we could have recognized them, so who's doing well in terms of quality. So it improvises the overall internal quality of our employees as well. So it was helpful. And as a management terms, we were able to get a larger picture, like, which office or which branch perform better, and which branch has lacking some things. And so it's all about identifying certain factor and giving feedback and getting better into that.
Now, with due respects to Naveen, he is a representative of that is study abroad, is it not? Yes, yes. So I think the study abroad people have, to a certain extent, messed up the whole thing. I'm sorry to say that because they have created a lot of confusion in the minds of the students. Let me just tell you an example. One student, he finished his BSc Botany and Biotechnology, and then he came to me, "Sir, can you give me a letter of recommendation?" I said, where are you going?" "I want to go abroad." "You please let me know the name of the university." Then he is just, he's just looking here and there. He doesn't know the name of the university. So I said, "I'll give you the letter of recommendation provided you give me the name of the university. You please leave my cabin and you get me the name of the university." And then he went out, and after 10 minutes again he comes in, and then he writes with his hand, "The Missouri University, Springfield, some place." So then I asked him this, "Who has given you the name of the university?" Then he said, "My agent has given me the name of the university." So it is the agent which is deciding his future. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, if things go like this, it is going to be a big problem. Actually, this the agents have given a sort of impression that, of course, brain drain is there, but then they say that we are all brain in the drain. No, that is the impression which the agents have given to the students. I'm so sorry to say that. Yes, yes. So I think a lot of the confusion has been created in
I
the.
wish to interrupt there.
Yes, yes.
So if you think that that student who doesn't know where he's going, which university is talking about, are we really talking about a brain drain? If he doesn't know where he's heading, are we talking about a brain drain?
No, that's what.
It is not brains that is getting drained out. See, this is a point I like to comment on. People were leaving this country earlier also. 10 years back, 15 years back. They were going for Harvards, the Stanfords, or the Berkeleys, that kind of universities of the world. Now, if people are leaving this country, it is not because of poor education system out here.
That's what I said. That is what I said.
The sudden leap in numbers is mainly because of the immigration opportunity. And it's a great opportunity. I'm giving all respect to them, and I feel that they're doing a good job. Because there's a limit to which our country can give the kind of standard of living these people are expecting or looking for and aspiring for.
When there are good universities here, when there are good colleges here,
can we give the kind of employability?
That's what I said.
Opportunities.
So these students know they are looking for a socio-economic setup which they wish they will get when they go abroad. But probably they say that they get better opportunities there. But opportunities which they have abroad, we all very well know. No, at least at the present juncture, the opportunities which these students have abroad, no, I don't have to tell you. No, it is it is actually, I must say that it is a very pitiable condition in most of the countries. So the agents basically, they try to lure these candidates. Yes, you go there, you go here, your life will be very good, and you get a job there, and then and then they leave. That is what I have understood. That is my version of things. Maybe others may have different version.
I'll just share my opinion. If they are doing their job pretty well, it is our responsibility to do our job pretty well. Okay, that is one area. If the student is not, for example, if a 12th standard student or a degree student is not able to identify his or her career path, to whom we need to point our hands? Of course, that's a bigger question. That is a question we need to ask. It is not the agency or something. Then what are we, the educational institution? I'm also represent institution. So what are we doing it? We need to educate what are the different opportunities, or we should be able to map the students' attribute, and that is our responsibility. If we are not doing our responsibility, we cannot blame any other. That's a point number one. Point number two is, recently I was attending a seminar, like similarly panel discussion, which is conducted by Malayalam Manorama Sambadhyam, and the CEO of the director of Asset Homes was talking. Actually, he was telling how many people in Kerala is receiving a 1 lakh rupees. Okay, so that is a bigger question, the purchasing power or the disposable income. And right now, the Dubai has opened up. We can buy play land, or you can settle over there. And he's telling that we need to start the construction in Dubai because nobody is going to come back. So this is a bigger concern what he was talking about, because if Dubai starts to open up, or the GCC country starts to open up, and the people who are living for a long period of time, they will not be ready to come back. And what happens is with the crore, homes, that is going to be a bigger question. So, as Sir said, we need to upgrade ourselves, our education system, our socio-economical political system, or anything that matters. Once we started to upgrade, we need to look to ourselves rather than blaming someone. We need to look ourselves. We should be able to upgrade ourselves. I think that, and we are able to, like for example, the freedom part. The students right now, handling the Gen Z is a totally different ballgame. We cannot handle the same as 20 years or 18 years back. No, it's a totally different ballgame. And we need to be with the students. We need to understand what is a student's requirement. And of course, the students are much aware about the things. Recently, my 7-year-old daughter, and I was asking her something, by just showing a machine, and I was not aware about it. So she was saying, Amma, this is this. And I asked her, how do you know about it? Amma, you have to stay Instagram Reels, Amma. You're very outdated. I was like, oh my God. And this is the many of the times I feel that she used to educate me. And the students are much well ahead. And we need to ask to ourselves whether are we, the educational institution as such, is upgrading in terms of the technology, or the digital literacy of the institution or the faculty. Are we giving the proper training, or are we giving the necessary facilitation for them to upgrade us? So these, once that all comes intact, of course, I think the so-called the consideration, or the will be able to sort out, I think, Ramya.
Yeah, I would like to add one more point to this. Like in Kerala, specifically, we follow the Bloom's taxonomy as a basic this thing. So in Bloom's taxonomy, we have different levels, and the lowest level is the remembrance. Yeah. So it should be completed in the lower standards of education. But right now, even in the higher education system, we are following the same remembrance system itself. So by the time they get into the higher education, they should have reached the upper 3 levels, like evaluate, analyze, and create. All those things should be there. When it is not received from here, but at the same time received from abroad, students obviously, and right now, as rightly pointed out by Dr. Bindu and Thomas, yes, everything, the technology is so advanced that the students have everything in their fingertips. They know what to choose and how to reach their goals. So if we give them the opportunity to receive their goals or reach their goals, we should be visible enough to attract them to ourselves. Like, I really would like to comment on Meritto on that aspect as well, that we can easily reach the students and the targeted or the exact group of students. As rightly pointed out by Sir, earlier, actually in Elite College of Management, we have the maximum number of seats capacity, and this year we are facing a target of 360, and I have a team of 4 along with me. So when a student inquires, each and every lead is equally important. Not to get wasted is something, or when we give a small negligence, we will be losing one admission. So each admission is important, and I really treasure Meritto for catering all my needs as per we require. Each leads, each admissions, each applications, how we can effectively distribute the leads to the counselors, and they can nurture it well. The follow-up tasks are easy, and we can complete everything on time, leading to a very easy, simple, relaxed process. So this is how I or my team find Meritto very useful to reach out to the right candidates and answer to all their concerns and get them converted to our institution.
One more point. See, with that I'll conclude. I must say that give the university status to institutes. Institutes which are good, the government should give university status. We will attract students. Students will not leave the state. Give us the freedom to start courses. Give us the freedom to conduct examinations. I'm sure students will be with us. As I told you a short while ago, our institutions are really good. We have good teachers, we have good laboratories, we have good library facilities, which is why these agencies are giving us good ranks for accreditation. Let this government give us, let any government give us the university status, give us more autonomy. These students will all be with us. This is what is lacking in our state. So once the private universities or university status is being given to institutes like us, I'm sure we'll be in a position to perform better. Thank you.
No, fair point. And in fact, I think we stretch this debate. And before we close this panel discussion, I would just need to share a perspective. And as sir, you rightly said, that everyone will have their own perspective. So I spent close to around 15 years in educational institutions who are conducting tests across the globe. So I worked in GMAT, the organization which conducts GMAT. What are they for? They attract largely, they send students outside of their home country. Then I worked in undergrad in SAT. People give SAT and go abroad for their undergrad programs. And the perspective there, sir, and in fact, I'm not in favor or against it. But the perspective is very, very clear from a point of view that if you look at broadly the universities outside India, majority of them have no time to look at the applications of the students. They don't spend that much of time going through each and every application, and that's why. And they have to actually recruit at least 60 or 70 different nationalities from all over the globe. So if I am Harvard and if I have to recruit 5 students from India and I don't have a bandwidth to look at some 3,000, 5,000, 7,000 applications coming from India, I will obviously go to agents and I will say that, bhai, you ensure that whatever my process is, students do that and apply to me with whatever is required so that we can fruitfully look at those applications which are complete. So from that point of view, I feel, at least from my experience, just two sides, sir. Agents do a good job and good agents do a good job. Let me just put it right there. If we read a lot about agents sending students to some university, those universities actually are fake universities and they had to face the brunt of all that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the right set of agents who help students in identifying a right opportunity outside India, helping them apply and getting them selected is to some extent a good thing which they are doing. In fact, in India, if you look at it, leave aside Kerala as a state for the time being, majority of the states use a lot of agents in a different way. You have a lot of people helping you with your admissions, helping you market your program with their branding on their websites. So they are not doing a bad job in that sense. That is my 2 cents, and for all of you. So thank you so
for that.
much.
Just give me a second because
Yeah, sure.
yeah,
Naveen,
thanks
I'm
for
sorry.
supporting that over there. It's just I do not completely disagree with you. So if anyone in the education industry genuinely interested to for the students' betterment, they would somehow agree with you because so when I started, there were like 600, 700 agencies all across over here nearby. And at the moment, it is 3,000. So the agencies are growing, the port, the the X number of students, that's not growing exponentially in terms of what agencies are growing. So there are good players, there are bad players, there are terrible players. So these guys, when instead of consulting, when the sales is happening more, the bad practices will happen. So it is a collective outcome of that. It's the same thing. So when you told every institution or at a point should give a university status. When you look into the north side, or so we've got 19 list of universities which is blacklisted. They do not accept it. Why? These guys are printing certificates. So practices are there, and as an agents or as a consulting firm, I would rightly put consulting firm. So we're not entirely trying to recruit or sell a products. We do work with the universities, but the bureaucracy is too much. So earlier, last 2 months ago, we've got a German university who actually wanted to build partnership in India. So I came across a couple of universities, took their curriculum, took their syllabus, sent it across. Their VC approved it. That has been done in 2 weeks' time. But I've been chasing the universities for the last 2 months. They said that it will take time. So where it will take, it's going to take a lot of time. So the foreign universities would like to come down to India, either do a partnership, 1+1 program that you guys are doing, but it takes a lot of time and effort to crack that deal, and which is actually beneficial for the student. This is not happening.
Sashi sir talked about the red tapeism. I think it clearly outlines these regulations and all that, which
Regulations.
stops institutions from growing. So I clearly buy that
Absolutely.
logic.
And the last point, sir rightly put away, there are students who doesn't know where actually they're going, what actually they're doing. But I would say our primary education system and below that, they're doing a terrible job, disrupting all. Because as an agent, so for see Kerala, so we've got around 12,000 schools across Kerala, and out of that 2,000 is CBSE. So when somebody is going abroad, we have to educate in terms of culture, in terms of language, in terms of interviews, in terms of confidence. So if so this category of a student, if he's coming, so the first question, give me some university which doesn't have an interview. Man, you're going to go and live there for 2 years. You cannot speak English. So give me some university where I get easy admission. So what is an easy admission? So give me some So next thing, they have to write something called a statement of purpose, SOPs. So why they want to go to that particular country, what they're going to be doing, and why do they selected the university. There are students who's asking, can you do my SOP? That agent told me they'll do SOP. I'll give my application to them. So what are we really teaching them? So they're spending 20-30 lakhs to going abroad. So if somebody cannot write an SOP, if somebody cannot attend an interview, if somebody do not want to do an IELTS class, right? So these are the students who goes there, and we also follow up after that. Once they reach there, we do sometimes the semester follow up, and after completing their course, graduation after so I was recently speaking to another student. So the output we get, right? So there are category of students. So these category of the student, when they are after 2 years, we ask did you get a job? No, there is no job. We can't get job over here. So these are the master students are going. I again go and ask, how many jobs did you apply? 5 or 6. I go there and I spoke to the employer. So it's a country where you're competing with students from 150 countries. You apply in 5 or 6 jobs, you're probably not going to get it. So it's a temperament and mentality as well. And again, I was speaking to a German professor, he's from a Macromedia University, he's from Germany. So he said, when I see the application, I see brilliant students, a 9-pointer, 9.5 point. On a paper, it's very strong. But on a classroom, they don't even say a word. They're shy. They're less confident. So they have to again make it into a cultural fit. If somebody a 9-pointer, they have to be extraordinarily brilliant. When the students who got an international exposure and all, so they speak much more. Lastly, I'll just, I had a student, Jane Joseph, who's from a Thrissur, just studied in some college. I had a terrible time preparing him for interview and making them eligible for the meeting the entry requirement and the interview facility. For yesterday he called, so he's I think he's a supervisor in Amazon now. So from 2 years back, how we speak, his confident level, how we see things, what he thinks in terms of his earning potential. Everything has changed, right? uh, Again, there is a last point. When if like somebody is studying in a set syllabus, or like, under average student, when these guys go abroad, and after completing their curriculum, they, even if they come back, the output we get, it is much higher. That's what I think. That's what it is actually. And uh, a lot of people, or a lot of us, we see, or we just inject something called, if you go abroad, you have to settle there. If you're not settled there, you're not success. So this is where the issue happens. They don't really have to settle there. They can always come back to India. Till the time they get an ROI, it's more than enough. They got an international education exposure, and the ROI, it's good to come back as well. That's what I believe.
I think it's a never-ending debate, and I don't want to take too much of time. I have already overshot by 15-20 minutes, and Mohan from behind is actually showing me hands and eyes that Vikram, will you stop it or not? So thank you so much, all the panelists. It was a great discussion. All insights are definitely welcome with respect to whatever you are doing in your institution. And I thank you once again for joining us here and sharing your candid views here. Thank you so much.